Hey guys, this is Drew, welcome to the channel. This is the all-new MG HS Super Hybrid, plug-in hybrid, PHEV, whatever you want to call it, available in the New Zealand and Australian right-hand drive market. Today I'm going to do a quick walk around for the interior, for the exterior, and the POV drive to let you know my driving impression and review about the MG HS plug-in hybrid. Let's look at the exterior first. First thing you will notice, compared to other MG vehicles, which is the HS range, these ones get the side steps as standard. It's more like a protection for the battery according to some research online, but it's just what it is. From the exterior, it looks identical apart from the side steps to the petrol and also to the normal hybrid non-plug-in version. It is just under 4.7 meters long with a wheelbase stretched to 2.76 meters long, and the width of the vehicle is close to 1.9 meters, and then the height of the vehicle is over 1.65 meters. So it does sit on the medium-sized SUV market very easily, and you do get good styling overall. At the back, LED taillights, at the front, LED headlights. The one we are driving today is called Essence in the New Zealand market. The pricing for New Zealand is Excite base model 52,990 plus ORC. This one is $4,000 more, 56,990 plus ORC. I do think this sits better on the market in terms of value choices. You do get sunroof, you do get full LED and LED turning, LED daytime, leather seats interior, power buttons on the back, 360 surround view cameras as standard as well. Now coming to the front, LED over here, and we do get black bars over here. They don't lit up, by the way, the LED lights, only on the side. Black wheels over here, they are not a chunky big grille compared to some other vehicles, but they carry out the MG design just underneath. And over here, that's the fog lights. Parking sensor at the front, 360 camera is available on this vehicle. On the side, you also get 19-inch alloys with Bridgestone tires. They do look alright. Side steps, as we mentioned, some black trims over here, black wheel arches over there, and some black trims around the windows, and silver chromes on the top with silver roof rails. On the side, I don't mind the styling either. It's like a traditional SUV with what you want to look on the market, with some slopey roofline just over here. At the back, running through taillight bars, which looks quite good at night. Small MG logo, HS, and PHEV, which is over here. So yeah, overall the design feels alright, just like all the other MG HS you see on the road. This looks really just identical. Power tailgate available on this version, and then we get over 500 liters of boot volume. Underneath, there is a small storage over here, some storage panel over there, but that's pretty much it. You do get a fairly big battery actually, 24.7 kilowatt hour battery. That means EV range is up to 136 on the NEDC cycle or 120 on the WLTP cycle. Of course, you can drop the rear seats, 40-60 split. And then on the left, we are going to find the charging port. The vehicle supports Type 2 charging, so only slow charge on the MG HS. It does not support fast charging, but the good thing is, for that slow charge, you also come with the vehicle to load function as standard, so you can charge some other appliances if you're out of electricity. On the right, that's the petrol tank. It takes 95. At the back, this is how the MG HS looks like. Let's step inside. Just like what we used to, this is great amount of space. With over 2.7 meters long wheelbase, you got big amount of room. This has been set to my driving position. I'm about 178 centimeters tall. I have no issue sitting in the back. Seats are really comfy. You got pockets over here, air vents underneath, 2 USB-C charging, and armrest with cup holders over here. This higher version gets the panoramic sunroof. You do have individual cover, by the way. The door opening feels quite wide. No issue at all. Now, coming to the front, you do have keyless entry as standard, electric seats on the driver and passenger side as standard. Also memory and heating function at the front too on this higher version. In terms of steering, this looks identical to many other MG products, or the MG HS in general, flat bottom, flat top over here. That actually cuts the center screen nicely. You can see the dashboard easily. You do get buttons on the right to control a few things. Let's say I can personalize this button to quickly control my aircon, which is finally back to the MG HS range. I do love that. On the left, that's your cruise control buttons. Indicator on the left, windscreen wiper on the right. The panels are really easy to read. You do have a few designs you can fiddle around, but yeah, just information on the right. Over here, these are another 12.3-inch screen. This screen looks again identical to many MG vehicles. If you do want a tutorial about this screen, do check other contents on my channel as well. The major upgrade of this from the petrol variant is wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto. Along with that, you do have a quick dedicated function called MG Pilot Custom. That means if I go into the MG's vehicle setting with the MG Pilot, I can manually select what I want to switch on, what I want to switch off whenever I get inside the vehicle. Once it's all set, press and hold this button. That's be set. That does not mean every time you get inside the vehicle will switch on all the features, but you could just swipe down, press this button, that's all switched on. Very easy. I do love that. Apart from that, 360 camera is alright, not too bad for the price. And then you get fan speed controls. Most of the things are over here with some quick buttons underneath. And navigation, you do get built-in navigation with the MG HS. And yeah, that's pretty much it. You do have phone connectivity and also the MG iSmart connectivity, so you can personalize or remotely start the vehicle if you wish. Now coming down underneath, we got 10 USB-C charging and 12-volt socket over here. Cup holders are decent. Gear shifter, parking hold, and things like that. It's all very nice and very similar to the MG HS petrol. Wireless phone charger pad over here, small storage underneath. Just like all the other MG HS, there is no center storage under the tunnel. And press over here. It's alright, again, decent storage. Alright, we've done the talking. Let's go for a drive to see how this guy goes. Alright, first thing, visibility on the side, they are not great as we mentioned on all MG HS reviews. The mirror cover is quite large, it blocks quite a bit if you are actually seeing through driveway and things. But apart from that, the rear windscreen is okay, side is okay, front is not too bad, so not too much of a complaint apart from the wind mirror cover size, by the way. Let's go through the drivetrain first. So the vehicle is powered by a 4-cylinder 1.5-liter turbocharged petrol motor, 105 kilowatts of power, 220 or something Newton meters. I can get the right number on the screen. It comes with a big battery, 24.7 kilowatt hour battery. That means EV driving up to 135 kilometers on NEDC, up to 120 on the WLTP cycle. So both numbers are actually brilliant for what the vehicle offers in terms of the size and the battery technology. Now the vehicle also have front EV motor, so single motor only and two drive only on the MG HS plug-in hybrid. The EV motor produces 134 kilowatts of power, 340 Newton meters of torque. Funny enough, that number and that motor is exactly the same as the hybrid version. Now in terms of combined power, it's got 220 kilowatts of power, 350 Newton meters of torque. Neither numbers are bad. It's got a great amount of power for what this car needs and what this car gets for you. In terms of pick up and go, it is pretty easy to get going as long as you have battery charge, of course. But even if you don't have battery charge, the 1.5-liter petrol is still enough to power the vehicle if you need. The vehicle does have different drive modes, different region braking. Region braking 2 levels, one is high, one is low. Right now we're driving on high, which is standard. You can change the vehicle from HEV to EV if you have battery charged as well. EV will be really quiet, really smooth, and even at HEV right now, the vehicle feels like most of its power is from the EV motor, so not too bad at all. And in terms of the suspension setup, the vehicle does have McPherson struts at the front, multi-link suspension at the back. So good amount of support for this size of the vehicle. But due to the battery weight and due to the large pack of battery on the plug-in hybrid, you can definitely feel the weight under the chassis since the battery is mounted at the back of the platform. And that also means it doesn't handle the road as well as the Hybrid Plus, which is the non-plug-in. Maybe on the edge, if you go pusher on the corners, you can definitely feel that. but if you are simply just driving this vehicle around town, it is still easy to drive. You're not going to have too much of problems driving this vehicle in the standard, road driving conditions until you push it around the corner. But either that, it's still a very comfortable vehicle in terms of its sort of suspension setup. You're not going to be disappointed by what the vehicle offers in terms of riding quality. Road noise is quite minimal as well, and you don't really have too much complaint about that either. So overall, it is a nice driving experience for what you get in terms of this suspension setup. Coming back to the power, the vehicle also does have different drive modes: Sport, Normal, and Eco, and you do have different steering input. You can do a Sport, which is a bit stiffer, a bit heavy, but even the Normal, it is not too light compared to other Chinese automakers on the market. I do like the suspension or steering tuning on this vehicle. It does give the vehicle a good weight. It's not too heavy, but it is a solid level in terms of its steering, adjustment and steering feedback. Now we're driving on quite rough seal at about 50 k's or so. The vehicle definitely pick up some road noise around here. Once we get out here, we can go on a country road just to see how the vehicle goes in different surfaces and things. Again, handling over here is alright. Not major complaint, and it does go on the road easily. Here is okay, some minimal body roll if you actually push it a little bit too hard, but it's okay. The one thing about this car, the strange thing is the speed sign reading is definitely not accurate. Whenever you pass a random sign says around this corner 25 recommended, with like arrows at all, it just picks up 25 on the speed limit. It's definitely not right. It's a little bit more too sensitive. Apart from that, all the other MG HS I've driven in the past have never had those issues, by the way. Acceleration is another thing I want to talk about. Pedal response is super light and super smooth. As soon as you put your foot down, it's just instant torque thanks to its EV motor and EV battery charge, EV driving. The pedal feels quite responsive, and the acceleration on the regenerative braking is okay. I think I might be more happier on the lower region level. The number 2 is just a little bit heavier than I wish it to be. I'm someone who likes the light regeneration, by the way. And yeah, driving on this open road, the vehicle feels quite solid. It feels planted on the road. If you go through different bumps, you can definitely feel them, but it doesn't really transfer to your seats. That's the good thing. And over here, relatively sharp. I'd say if this car is ever available in a all-wheel drive form, this will just handles a lot better. But sadly, this is only in front-wheel drive on the HS range so far. Just easy to pick up. I'm still driving on HEV, but you can tell at low speed, this is more of a serious mode, so the EV battery is still doing majority of the driving part. It's not doing much of it's not getting the petrol motor to engage to get, all the speed and things. So again, overall driving experience, very easy, very light. Shouldn't have too much a complaint driving on this car. And yeah, the cool thing about this car is it's got a good amount of battery charge. I know on the market, some other manufacturers and also competitors will come up with a lot of PHEV options at the meantime. This one is over 120k, so that's plenty of EV driving you can get once you fully charge the car. At the same time, the chassis feels quite solid. I don't think it needs any extra tuning for any local markets, unlike some other rivals on the market as well. So that's my quick verdict about the MG HS PHEV. Great, solid package for what it is. But at the same time, the price may not be the most competitive on the market compared to some other cars you'll find. Whether you should buy this or you should just go for the MG HS Hybrid Plus, which is non-plug-in, offers really good drive, very similar platform and same chassis performance. It'll be better than handling because the weight of the vehicle is less. maybe let me know in the comments. Anyway, that's my verdict on the MG HS plug-in hybrid. I hope you enjoyed the content. If you do not forget to subscribe. That's the best way to support the channel. As always, I will see you in the next video. Thank you very much.